Here's something about business law that surprises a lot of people. So, most business disputes don't turn on whether someone technically violated the law. They turn on how risk was allocated in the business contracts, either at the formation or when a new onset of contracts came in. And so, contracts aren't just about promises, they're about deciding in advance who eats the loss when something goes wrong. So setting out that risk allocation. And that's why two businesses can sign a very similar agreement and walk away with very different outcomes when a deal falls apart. These businesses and contracts and the court depends on who agreed to bear which risks. And so if we look at things like limitation of liability clauses, we look at indemnification provisions, warranty disclaimers, those sections don't feel important when everyone's optimistic and building this new business, but they're going to feel very important when something breaks down. And so in trial, courts don't ask what would be fair now. The court asks and the judge asks, what did the parties agree to before the problem existed? And that's also why a lot of business owners start to feel blindsided in court. They're arguing about what should happen while the court is reading what already happened on paper, what was agreed to in that contract, which risks were already decided on. And what's interesting is that business law assumes you're capable of protecting yourself. The courts give businesses a certain level of heightened sophistication because the system is built on the idea that sophisticated parties allocated risk knowingly, even if that outcome later feels harsh. And so when people say the law should protect me from this, the answer in business law is often you already had the chance to protect yourself when you signed that contract, when you wrote out that contract. And that can sound cruel, but it's just how predictability is maintained in business relationships and these contracts. And so once you understand that, contracts stop looking like formalities that you just sign and start looking like what they really are. It's a roadmap for how a dispute will be resolved before it ever exists.